Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. We're coming live to you on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88 and also on NBT World. It's Wednesday, July the 1st, 2015. You're with me, Cholapansa Narula. In today's Thailand Moves Forward, our very first story, the government is rushing to tackle the country's water management as parts of the measures to solve the drought crisis. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha said that the government is determined to take control of the country's water management from upstream to downstream, as well as the supply behind all dams. The Prime Minister said that artificial rainmaking and the digging for underground water are now underway, while farmers have believed to choose only crops that need less water to grow during the time when drought continues. Interior Minister General Anupong Paujinda added that the Prime Minister has been highly concerned with the consumption of water in the country and already asked related agencies to implement ad hoc measures to tackle the problem at hand, while the Natural Resources Ministry will take a lead to meet with all officers to get updates on water use and discuss the issues with the Agriculture Ministry to identify long-term solutions. The government spokesman has urged the public to be cautious while consuming news, as ill-intended groups of people may be spreading misleading messages. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew said on Tuesday that it is believed that groups of disgruntled people and all political groups have been launching more movements to meddle with peace in the society. He said that these groups, under the support of certain individuals who are in Thailand, have been spreading wrong information about the current government on social media and continually false news to cause confusion amongst the people. Therefore, he is urging the public to be more careful when they hear or read news and not to be easily confused by such tactics, while the government is trying to focus to solve all problems in the country as best as it can. The Cabinet approved a bilateral cultural agreement with Peru and approved in principle the Bankruptcy Draft Act during its mobile retreat in Chiang Mai. The Cabinet approved a cultural agreement between Thailand and Peru over the preservation and retrieval of archaeological and historical artifacts in a bid to protect cultural heritage in each country. Thailand's Ministry of Culture will celebrate the 50th anniversary of Thai and Peruvian diplomatic ties in the Peruvian capital of Lima during July 16th and the 17th. Two additional agreements are set to be inked during the visit. Deputy Government Spokesman Major General Sansern Kaew revealed that the Cabinet also approved in principle the Bankruptcy Draft Act proposed by the Ministry of Justice. The draft will be forwarded to the Office of the Council of State and the National Legislative Assembly. The act is expected to assist and rehabilitate SMEs that are experiencing severe financial losses. The Ministry of Tourism and Sports has set the tourist target for this year at 28.8 million people and the revenue target at 202 trillion baht after the situation in Thailand was back to normal. Minister of Tourism and Sports Gopkan Wattanawarangkoon had informed the government that tourist demand to travel to Thailand was still very high and the ASEAN market saw growth. The Tourism Authority of Thailand's continuous promotion of Thai tourism also contributed to its projected growth in tourist numbers in 2015. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha also instructed the ministry to set up sport associations at the regional level. The association's main task was to select athletes for national teams. Let's have a look at the economy now. The Thai National Shippers Council, or TNSC, has revised its export growth estimate for this year to -2% after its evaluation of several negative factors weighing on exports. The Thai National Shippers Council President Nopporn Thepsitha said the exports shrank by 5% in May, whereas growth was a -4.2% for the first 5 months of the year. Risk factors to exports included global economic volatility, diminished quantity of agricultural produce due to drought, termination of the GSP privileges, relocation of production bases away from Thailand, volatility of the baht, and the problem of Greece's debt. According to Kun Wanlop, Wittanakon, TNSC Vice President. Although the organization believes the global economy has bottomed out, it believes Thai exports in June would shrink by 5 to 6%. Meanwhile, the Bank of Thailand indicated the recovery of the Thai economy was still slow and fragile, and the drought problem now poses another risk factor to the recovery. Rung Malikamat, Senior Director for Macroeconomic and Monetary Policy Department of the BOT, explained that for the month of May, tourism and state spending were the drivers of the economy, while private sector consumption continued to slow. Consumption declined by 0.4% because of cautious spending by households. According to Kun Rung, current economic risk factors included uncertainties in the global economic recovery, also the risk of Greece's debt problems causing money market volatility, and diminished household income resulting from the dry weather conditions. Operators across the country believe the hike in daily labour minimum wage should be delayed. In March, the Thai Labour Solidarity Committee called for Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha to increase the minimum wage to 360 baht from the current 300 baht, sparking debates in many industries. The TCC has recently conducted a survey on 218 business owners in Thailand and found that the majority of them agreed that now is not the right time to increase the daily wage due to a slow recovery of the Thai economy. 36.5% of those surveyed expressed their belief that the old system under which wages vary by each province based on the cost of living should be reinstated. The Ministry of Public Health has confirmed that the conditions of Thailand's first and only Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or MERS virus have improved markedly, while some of those who have been in close contact with him have already passed the quarantine. Director General of the Department of Disease Control, Dr. Sopon Mekton, said that 16 people who have originally been put under observation and quarantine following their close contact with the MERS patient who travelled from Oman have been discharged on Tuesday. Dr. Sopon said that the people who have been allowed to go home after 14 days of observation are medical personnel and the patient's relatives. He added that the conditions of the Omani man have continued to improve and did not have fever or cough anymore. The Broadcaster and Journalist Assembly of Thailand and the Ratchapak Institute jointly organized the CEO Thailand Awards 2015 for outstanding CEOs who set good examples for the Thai society. The CEO Thailand Awards was held for the first time in 2013. The award is a collaboration between the BJAT and the Administration Management for Development project of the Ratchapak Institute to steer the country's strength by commending outstanding and exemplary CEOs. The Deputy Director General of the Public Relations Department, Jarun Thaisorn, presided over the opening ceremony and explained more about the purpose of the event.
CEO
Thailand Awards are given to Thai CEOs who have had outstanding performances as well as demonstrated exemplary behavior to other CEOs. In order to develop the country, public and private sectors must cooperate. Today, all sectors are joining hands to push our country forward. There must be leaders among the CEOs, and these leaders should be the role models for other CEOs and executives in Thailand, especially in the field of management, strategic planning, leadership, and creativity. Participants of today's event include monks, CEOs of public and private sectors, as well as from other organizations.
The CEOs who are qualified for the awards must be those who are recognized by organizations or the society for their integrity. They must be creative and capable of solving problems at hand, thinking outside the box, and also having positive attitudes. The Chaw Takram Puppeteer Group is one and only puppeteer group in Thailand that is run by primary students. These young artists have been running the show for 8 years now. Kun Suthani Rungmuenporn has a special report for us from Samut Songkhram.
The animated string puppet show that you have just seen is created by the Chaw Takram Puppet Show Group run by primary students at Wat Khao Yisan School. a number of grade 3 to 6 students gather every lunch break to practice how to make these puppets look alive as much as possible and put them in the stories mainly based on their collective imagination. A small school with over 100 students located in a tiny community near Ampawar district, Samut Songkhram province, has been running this project for 8 years.
ค่ะจุดเริ่มต้นเลยนะคะได้รับงบประมาณจากสำนักงานกองทุนสนับสนุนการสร้างเสริมสุขภาพให้ไปอบรมโครงการลดละเลิกเหล้าเมื่อไปอบรมเนี่ยคณะหุ่นใจเทมาก็ได้เข้ามาร่วมด้วยคณะหุ่นใจเทมาก็ได้สอนวิธีการเชิดหุ่นสอนการเขียนบทละคร
จนถึงวันนี้คณะหุ่นช่อชะครามเนี่ยประสบความสำเร็จมากน้อยแค่ไหนคะ
ถือว่าประสบความสำเร็จในความคิดเห็นครูว่าอาจเขาเป็นเด็กก็ได้นะความน่ารักค่ะเพราะว่าคณะอื่นจะเป็นเด็กมัธยมมีคณะเดียวที่เป็นประถมความเห็นครูว่าหุ่นมันน่าสนใจมันเหมาะกับเด็กเด็กเจอหุ่นปั๊บนี่ถ้าจับปั๊บเด็กจะวิ่งมาเลยแล้วก็ใบหน้าเขาจะยิ้มเลยนะแสดงว่าเขาชื่นชอบ
The stories used in the show are mostly to do with the topics that reflect the way of life of the people in this small community. Things like mangrove forests, famous Thai sardines known as Platu, and the cultural trail of the community.
มีขวกมาขายขวกเล็กขวกน้อยทุ่งทองกะละมังเล็กๆเอามาขาย
The small artists here are given opportunity to extend their imagination as much as they can by making, dressing their puppets, and creating the stories. Every rehearsal involves the group of puppeteers and those who do the voice-overs.
ดีใจที่เห็นผู้ชมยิ้มแล้วก็มีความรู้สึกว่าภูมิใจที่ได้ไปเผยแพร่วัฒนธรรมให้คนอื่นได้รับรู้ค่ะเล่นหุ่นมา5 ปีแล้วค่ะ
ชอบไหมคะ
ชอบค่ะมันได้หลายๆอย่างค่ะได้ทั้งฝึกกล้ามเนื้อมือได้ความสามัคคีได้ความตรงต่อเวลาค่ะเชื่อต่อไปเรื่อยๆค่ะแล้วก็จะกลับมาช่วยคุณครูเขาพัฒนาต่อไปด้วยค่ะ
The small show run with big hearts of this little artist has one and only intention to preserve the way of life of their local community and its value in case it disappears. Meanwhile, these little hands full of imaginations will keep their future safe. Although this is yet a big show, it highlights the great effort of these young artists to conserve their local culture through their imagination to the best of their ability. And this young generation is indeed an essential mechanism for survival and prosperity of national identity in the current wave of globalization. Sushani Rungmanpon reporting from Songkhram.
Thank you very much to Kun Suchani for that report. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. Newsline will take a short break and we will return with international news. Stay with us.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The 12 core values: putting the public and national interests before one's own.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
วัสดีครับ This is Thailand at large. The show which is about to take you to the new experiences with the exciting stories.
With charming fascination. With a touch of Thainess.
Let's join us on NBT World. Explore with us and you'll know and love Thailand even more than before.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at ASEAN and beyond. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha will be traveling to Tokyo on Thursday to attend the 7th Mekong Japan Summit to enhance bilateral cooperation in various areas. Foreign Minister General Thanasak Pratimapakon said the Prime Minister will attend this event along with leaders from Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam and Japan. The objective of this event is to promote cultural, economic and social cooperation as well as to reduce social gaps. General Thanasak added that discussions over water management and other related issues will also be held during the two-day event. General Prayut will meet with the Japanese Emperor, Emperor Akihito, before joining the discussion with his Japanese counterpart, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Greece made last-minute overtures to its international creditors for financial aid on Tuesday, but it was not enough to save the country from becoming the first developed economy to default on a loan with the International Monetary Fund. The left-wing Greek government had asked European partners for a two-year aid package to cover its financing needs. Later on Tuesday, Greece's Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis indicated on a call with European counterparts that Athens might scrap a controversial July 5th referendum if a deal was reached, according to Eurozone sources. The flurry of diplomacy was an attempt to bring creditors back into talks after 5 months of inconclusive negotiations brought Greece close to leaving the euro currency bloc. It came as tens of thousands of people descended on Athens' central Syntagma Square over the past 24 hours in two different rallies, one to support the government and the other to push for Greece to remain in the euro. Greece, as expected, was not able to repay 1.6 billion euros it owed to the IMF in what was the largest mispayment in the fund's history. More than 100 people were feared dead on Tuesday after a military transport plane crashed into a residential area in Medan, Indonesia. Video taken at the scene by a member of the public showed emergency services searching through the wreckage and dousing flames with water. The crash happened shortly after takeoff in the north of the country in what may be the deadliest accident yet for an air force with a long history of crashes. Air Marshal Agus Supriyatna told Indonesia's Metro TV there were 113 people on board and that he did not expect any survivors. He added that some of the passengers were Air Force families. An eyewitness said the plane had appeared to explode shortly before it smashed into houses and a hotel. The Hercules plane had been on its way from an Air Force base in Medan to Tanjung Pinang in Rio Islands off Sumatra. Media said the pilot had asked to return to the base because of technical problems. 2 passengers on a Japanese Shinkansen bullet train died after one doused himself in oil and set himself ablaze on Tuesday. The train carrying about 1,000 passengers arrived at Odawara Station after it made an emergency stop on its way from Tokyo to the western city of Osaka when smoke started to fill at least one carriage. At least one of the injured was seen being rushed off the train by emergency workers. Police also escorted a stretcher carrying what was believed to be one of the 2 victims of the fire. Witnesses on Japanese media say a man covered himself with oil and set himself on fire. There was no immediate indication of any possible motive for the man's actions. A Liberian teenager has died of Ebola, the government announced on Tuesday, more than 7 weeks after the West African country was declared free of the deadly virus. The body of the 17-year-old tested positive for Ebola on Sunday, June 28, and he was buried the same day. Liberia's health minister told a news conference in the capital, Monrovia, that an investigation is now underway.
Information we know so far is that the sample was taken from a male 17-year-old dead body from Lower Margibi County. The burial team was called by the family. They conducted the swab, so they took the swab for the lab, and safe burial was done by the burial team. The sample was sent out for testing. It was sent to the laboratory for testing. On receipt of this positive result, the incident management system activated a team to conduct a detailed investigation in the area.
A rural area near Monrovia is home to the country's main international airport. The health minister said the existing infrastructure set up to combat Ebola helped in handling the case. It is the first recorded case of the disease in Liberia, one of the countries at the heart of the world's worst Ebola epidemic since it was declared virus-free on May 9th after going 42 days without any new infections. On a field in the English village of Swatton, a warning sign tells passers-by of the hazards ahead. Caution, flying eggs. Nearby, teams of two are lying on the grass awaiting to start a somewhat messy competition, throwing and catching eggs without breaking the shell. The Lincolnshire village played host to the annual World Egg Throwing Championships on Sunday, drawing hundreds of competitors and cheering spectators. Starting at 10 meters apart, the contest sees the tosser throw an egg to his teammate, the catcher. After each successful catch, they're spread further apart. The winning team, this year's Britain's Richard Gutso and Michael Speakman, is the one that completes a catch with no breakage over the furthest distance. Looks fun. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any suggestions, please write to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook by simply typing in NNT, and you'll find out more about Newsline. And also that's the news happening around the country. All right, today we say goodbye with a look at a spa in oil-rich Azerbaijan, offering customers a chance to treat their health issues by bathing in crude oil. Yes, crude oil. Let's have a look. I'm Chalapan Sanarula. See you next time. Sawasdee ka.